think introverts get a really bad rap for not speaking and just being silent, and also being different in terms of what you want out of your career. I think there's a huge gift when you're an introvert. You kind of think of like, or more of like reflect on your own life a lot more than so-called extroverts, right? I feel like there is a lot of things that when we consider the journey of what we do, the things that we consider in terms of what we want to achieve, a lot of it comes down to yourself and why you do what you do. But many of times, I think the external world or society kind of shuts it down to say that you need a stable job, stable career, you need to get your finances in check. I think reality often, like what Thanos said, right, when you watch the film in the Marvel movies, which is reality is often disappointing. I think we live for the sake of practicalities and often forgo many of our hopes and interests and dreams. As an introvert, at least if you consider yourself an introvert, right, you just kind of always feel like things are off in the world. I'm in a stage of my own life and career where there are many things that are very uncertain. What kind of path do you want to go down? And as someone that is 27, you just always get hound down in the back of your head, like whether or not you are keeping up with your peers, whether or not you have your goals, life goals or career goals met, and there's always a pressure to perform, and you just cannot escape this reality that you need to make sure that you get your life in check. I believe I speak of this from a space of influence, because if we all live in so-called that bubble of just being by yourself, with yourself, alone, I'm not sure if that's an introvert's dream. You're devoid of influence, which is you can just be with there's a turtle crawling, struggling. Anyways, I think all these things kind of like shows, the struggles of life and how we achieve it and overcome it. There's so much to life than just being somewhere that you don't belong, or somewhere that holds no meaning to you. And I think that really holds true when we do a job that we hate and do something that we don't feel any meaning for, strongly for. So I'm kind of transitioning my life towards doing music full time, and there's a lot of uncertainty that comes with it in terms of, do I need to also diversify my skills to be able to learn and teach other instruments, because now I'm primarily a guitar teacher, or do I need to niche down and deepen my knowledge in guitar so that I'm able to grow stronger in that knowledge and guide more students and stay focused there. So there's so much opportunities and explorations, but you are sometimes stuck in terms of like wondering whether those career paths will work. I think there's the saying where just because you are young, you should try more, experience more, but your years are always counting. You want to consider whether or not you want to take down this path that leads to some form of fruition, whether that's financial fruition or your own your own personal fulfillment in doing that work. When I say that means like even if I don't have a career in teaching guitar anymore, I was glad that I was a part of that so-called sport, the artistic sport of playing guitar, and I gained a lot of growth and learning the instrument. And most importantly, it showed me how exploratory, I hope I'm saying that right, exploratory life can be when you indulge in the deeper expressions of that instrument. And when that comes with more time and experience, you explore and realize that there's just so much more that you don't know. I think that is the real pleasure in learning any instrument. I mean, like for us, it's instrument. I'm an instrument player, so-called musician, and that gives you so much to consider when you explore the instrument for yourself, see how much it can bring to you rather than staying on a specific goal, which is I want to play this song or that song. And many students start there, and that compounds over time when you think of like what you want to achieve in the future. So yeah, I can only speak of this because I want to be different. And when I say I want to be different, it's not so much of like oh, you're just trying to do this like crazy thing, or you want to prove someone wrong. I think the intention was not what I wouldn't say was never really that, because that's kind of like an ego flex, which is, oh, you see I can do this and you can't, and then like you're trying to be superior, right? But many times it's because like life situations pulls you into a state where you don't really want to be in the same box, and it just so happens that the majority of people falls in the box. So example of that box would be like doing a conventional office job, or like doing something that a lot of people have done, and somehow it just doesn't fit you. And the moment you step out of it, there is the label of, oh, you're different, oh, and therefore you shouldn't be doing this. You should be, I mean, like, for the lack of a better word, you will become stigmatized because you are a minority in that sense when you are put in that position. And then everyone will give you all these like questions, indirect, even if it's indirect, right, to tell you that whatever you're doing is kind of pulling you back, getting you off track. And then when you're off track, all these consequences will put you in a terrible position in life. And yeah, it's not easy. It's frankly suffocating as well. But I'm quite thankful. I'm thankful to hear many stories from the international community. When I say that, it means like YouTube, also on a local community in my country, in Singapore, which is knowing people who does their own thing and enjoys it, even if it comes at a cost of losing financial security, stability, and just being a part of something that in the societal understanding in terms of language is being different, or being someone that is non-conventional, and therefore I would use the word inferior in a blunt sense, because people think like, oh, you're just taking everything that you've earned and just throwing it all away. And people will say like, it's a waste. It's a waste that you got this degree, and I have a degree, university degree, and when you don't feel something from what you did and what the world presents itself with, it's very clear that whatever status that you build out of it, right, it becomes it becomes more and more transactional in a sense, because even though I would say like I learned a lot when I studied in university, the moment I transitioned to the working world, there was this very, very clear irrelevance from whatever you learned to whatever you studied, and dealing with all the toxic work environments, politics, navigating work in a way where it's stifling your value of your work, which I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you kind of know where this is going, which is people will tell you that you're not doing this right, even though you put in your best effort and you try to be honorable for what you did, you put in your hard work. And when you see that people actually don't value it or appreciate it, I think there is a very huge mismatch of your expectations when you come out to work. And it's just a very unfortunate reality that we live in. And going back to that phrase, which is reality is often disappointing, it puts you in a situation where you feel alone, because no matter what you do or how you try to put yourself back in that societal box, you just feel like you don't vibrate in that frequency where people are just so conformed to just run the world, deal with the politics, be with people that don't really understand the struggles, or I wouldn't say, okay, let me take that back. People who numb themselves out from the struggles that come with these work environments, even if they know that it's there. The trap is whatever practicalities that comes from it, which is because I need this job, so I'm gonna stay here. Or there's no other way, and there's no other things that I can do, so I'm gonna stay here. And it's so unfortunate, but yet it's tragic for yourself if you are different, because you know that everyone will not resonate. And when I say everyone, is the generalization, but most people will not stand by you. And when that happens, you are taking your own path. And when you take your own path, it's a very scary moment, because you have no one to really talk to. At best, it's the people that you resonate with, whoever that is. At least there is that small anchor of people, which is in the minority, that are doing the things that you long to do, even if that means taking a break from your career, finding other sorts of income, no matter how small that is, dealing with the anxiety of not being able to pay your bills, maybe having to take numerous side hustles or part-time jobs, in order for you to make ends meet. I think many videos speak about the autonomy of being able to just be where you want to be, when you want to be there. So when you don't want to go to work, as a freelancer, you can call your shots and deal with your own consequence. That is the autonomy. You run the risk of losing the stability. You run the risk of not being able to have the financial security. But you think about it, it's a big word. It means a lot to everyone, almost everyone. But when you can sort of strip that down as much as you can, save as much as you can, learn to live life at least at the bare minimum first, I feel like maybe that can be enough. I live in a country where cost of living is rather high, and it's tough lah. It's tough when your money depletes in a in a very gradual and sometimes exponential form, because many of the spendings you put in is essential, right? But just consider, I mean, I'm figuring out my own life as well as I speak. I think the journey of being able to think for yourself is not easy one. It's unfortunate because many people don't see this way. You know, if we live in an ideal world where many people think for themselves, this wouldn't have been easy. This wouldn't have been hard. But we are the minority. I think being able to accept that as your answer, as your belief, your understanding of this as a value, which means I am different, I'm gonna learn to be courageous, I'm gonna learn to be hardworking, disciplined, in the ways where I want to be, then you're giving yourself a chance to try. When we don't have that willingness to say that I want to be different, not for the sake of it, not the ego flex thing. I want to be different because everyone is the same. And when I say I want to be different, it means I just want to be me. Because when you are different, right? And you know that people don't see it, right? Then you learn to establish yourself there as an identity, right? You learn to say that what comes out of it needs to be discipline, needs to be hard work, needs to be you grinding at the thing that you value. And if the thing that you value doesn't hold a lot of practicality, let's say you're doing art or you're doing some form of like a creative, and it's hard to get traction at the start. You know, just think of where can I lean into this aspect without having such a higher barrier to entry, which is like if I can't draw, you know, maybe I can be assistant at an art center. Of course, when you're an assistant, you're working for someone else, but at least you know that you're getting more exposed to the thing that you want to do, or like do the things that, you know, that at least where people treat you better, or if things go sideways, you can easily exit that situation or that job for that matter. Okay, I'm gonna end here. I don't even know sometimes whether the things I say make sense. Really just another lad trying to figure out life. Okay, bye.